to do is to review and approve the minutes. Does anyone have any changes to the minutes?
No. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, thank you. All right, so our next agenda item is the announcements. I have a few, and the first one is I passed out to my colleagues here a notice about public workshops for zero waste management put on by Delaware County. If you recall, we had put forth a resolution to the township to recommend a zero waste method to the county, but it was voted down. However, we did write a letter to Delaware County, so that was in support of this. And I would strongly advise that, we do, some of us at least attend these workshops we couldn't do today, so that we can also become informed about the zero waste that we were interested in to begin with. So any questions on that? Okay, the second one is that I did send an email about this. There is a native plant sale that is being put on by Radnor Conservancy on June 15th. And they offered us if we would like a table to get, some more signatures and announcements about the plastic ordinance and hand out any handouts. So if anyone is interested in sitting at that table, please let me know.
What's the date again, Margie?
It's the 15th, I believe it's a Saturday. Yeah. And I have all the handouts, so everything's ready to go. Yes, and just a little reminder that we have voting coming up before our next meeting. There are the primary votes, and I'm sure we all and the public will look toward candidates that are environmentally friendly. Does anyone else have any announcements? No. Okay, so in accordance to our agreement with the township, we are going to do a second public meeting about our proposed plastic bag ordinance. And we'll do it much the same way that we did our previous public meeting. And that is, I'll give a brief synopsis, and then Lisa Hollowell will go over a few of the points, and especially will bring out some refinements of the definition of plastic bags that we have added in the meantime. So just briefly, Americans are using billions of plastic bags each year. Plastic bags require fossil fuels to produce and are not degradable. They pollute our land, air, and water, and when they do break down into small particles, they are ultimately consumed by animals, including us. Many neighboring municipalities have adopted plastic bag ordinances, including Philadelphia, and Philadelphia's is now in full swing. Westchester, Haverford, Narberth, and others, almost all others, are working on them. The Radnor EAC is proposing that Radnor Township join our neighbors in the effort to keep our environment safe and clean. And I think that I'll just let Lisa go over the salient points rather than do the points twice. Does that work? And yeah.
Sure. So I'll go through some of the main points, starting with the purpose. In Pennsylvania, the Constitution has an environmental rights amendment that says that the people have a right to clean air, pure water, and the preservation of the natural, scenic, historic, and aesthetic values of the environment. And it further states that as trustee of these resources, the Commonwealth shall conserve and maintain them for the benefit of all the people. So Radnor Township is undertaking this as an arm of the Commonwealth. And the goal, one of the major goals, is to prohibit the degradation, diminution, and depletion of public natural resources due to excess plastic bags in the environment, and to act affirmatively via legislative action to protect the environment. So I just want to call a little bit of attention to why plastic bags, single-use plastic bags, are a problem. We have this all right in the ordinance. As was stated before, 100 billion single-use plastic bags are discarded by the United States consumers each year. In the township, such bags are not readily recyclable. There have been numerous studies documenting the prevalence of single-use plastic bags littering the environment, blocking storm drains, entering local waterways, and becoming stuck in or upon natural resources and public property. The taxpayers of the township pay the costs related to cleanup of single-use plastic carryout bags from roadways, trees, sewers, waters, and parks within the township. These are just a few of several reasons why this ordinance is important. So with that, I'll go through a little bit of an overview of what the ordinance does. With this ordinance, there would be, beginning 6 months after the effective date, a prohibition on commercial establishments distributing single-use plastic carryout bags to any customer, either at the commercial establishment, off-site, or in conjunction with a delivery. Beginning 6 months after the effective date, there's a prohibition, as I just said. Commercial establishments may distribute to consumers recyclable paper bags, and there would be a charge that the commercial establishment would be able to set at a minimum of 10 cents per bag, and all of the monies collected by the commercial establishment would be the property of that commercial establishment to cover the costs of providing such bags. Of course, the hope is that consumers will bring their own reusable bags. There's also a signage requirement, so 30 days after the effective date, but before the ban actually goes into effect, commercial establishments would be required to post at all points of sale conspicuous signage providing information about how the plastic bag, how plastic bags will no longer be provided by the establishment as of the date 6 months after the establishment of the effective date. There are some important exemptions that are also provided, and a particular business does also specifically have the option of showing that they would suffer an undue hardship and that they would need an additional year to comply. In addition, there are certain other exempt plastic bags that would not be subject to this ordinance, that are many, including bags used to package bulk items such as fruit, vegetables, nuts, grains, or candy, bags used to contain wrapped meats or fish, or wrapped frozen foods, or contain unwrapped prepared foods or bakery goods, and bags used solely to contain live animals such as fish or insects sold in a pet store. In addition, the definition of single-use plastic carryout bag would not include laundry or dry cleaning bags, newspaper bags, bags without handles used to protect a purchased item from damaging or contaminating other purchased items when placed in a reusable, recyclable paper bag, and a few others. So in addition, in response to public comments, we are proposing a couple of definitional changes to the original proposal. The first would be a change to the definition of reusable bag to a bag with handles that is specifically designed and manufactured for multiple reuse. Reusable bags shall be made of either polyester, polypropylene, cotton, or other durable material. And there would also be a change to the definition of single-use plastic carryout bag. The first sentence would stay the same, which would be a bag made of plastic or other similar material that is provided by a commercial establishment to a customer at or around the point of sale that is not a reusable bag or recyclable plastic bag. And we would add, plastic in this case refers to a synthetic material made from linking monomers through a chemical reaction to create a polymer chain that can be molded or extruded at high heat into various solid forms that retain their defined shapes during their life cycle and after disposal, including material derived from either petrochemicals or a biologically based polymer such as corn or other plant sources. A single-use plastic bag is made through a blown film extrusion process. In addition, the prohibition that would begin 6 months after the effective date would prohibit the distribution of single-use plastic carryout bags. And also, we are proposing adding, prohibiting single-use plastic compostable bags to that prohibition as well. And these were in response to comments from the public that we've received since putting the ordinance out.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, am I the only one doing public comment? Oh, well. Is this on? You hear me okay? Yeah. My name is Jillian Norris Santo, 424 Inverary Road in Villanova. I want to thank the Environmental Advisory Committee for having this another public hearing, because I think it's vital that people be informed and that they think about the whole subject of the ordinance. I'll begin by saying that a single plastic grocery bag looks pretty innocuous, and if we see it caught in a tree or snagged on a stream, the bank of a stream, or perhaps littering a woodland walk where we're taking a nice hike, we just generally think that's an eyesore or that's ugly, and we assume that it will disintegrate and break down and vanish into the earth, or that someone, a park attendant, will come by and take it away, and that rarely, if ever, happens. The plastic bag will break down, but as I think the committee knows, it will not totally disappear. It will just break down. It will degrade, but it's not biodegradable, so it will not decompose into natural components. It will remain only in very small pieces of plastic, very small. So small that they are termed microplastics. In other words, you need a strong microscope in order to see them. The kind of plastic used to make plastic grocery bags is called polyethylene, and Lisa, you referred to that, the chain of polymers and so forth. I'm not a chemist, but I can remember the name polyethylene. Recently, scientists at a university in the Netherlands, and I've explained, it's in this handout that I'll give you, these scientists looked at blood samples from 22 healthy adults, and they found microplastics in 17 of these blood samples. This shows that the microparticles can travel around the body, and we don't yet know the effects. They're still doing research into that. So the plastic bags littering our parks, streams, and vacant lots are not harmless after all, and they will not miraculously disintegrate and vanish into the soil. And I conclude that we need to end the use of single-use plastic grocery bags or plastic bags for carrying purchases. And instead, we should use reusable bags. After all, humans have made use of reusable bags for centuries, whether it's leather, cotton, wool, other products, things that they can use over and over again. And we found that it does work. Thank you. I realize that you all know all of this, but I was gearing these comments more for the public who might be just tuning in. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes, so in addition to these comments, we have gotten quite a few emails. There have been a large number of comments on social media, the Nextdoor social media. Also, there were 39 people who signed a petition for this ordinance at the recent Health and Wellness Fair, as well as a large number at the fair last fall. And in consideration of all of these comments and the fact that we had just one today, I'm going to propose that to the township that we think that the 2 public meetings, as well as all of the other publicity, be sufficient to consider, going to the next step on this. So is anybody opposed to this?
I'm in support.
I could go either
Try
way.
and get it done before the end of June, before the township sort of
Right.
disappears.
And there is the consideration that there are rumblings in the Pennsylvania legislature about starting the ban on the plastic bans again. So I think maybe time is of the essence here. But I'll speak with the township manager and everybody.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as the commissioners are okay. I
Right.
want to make sure we follow the rules.
Right,
If they need
right,
us to do a
yeah.
third one, we
Yeah.
can, but,
Yeah, since we didn't get any other.
yeah.
I would like to reiterate that most of the comments in the first meeting, I think we had about 6 or 7 people.
Yes, that's correct.
Only one person was even slightly skeptical about the plastic bag ordinance, and given that there's only one member of the public here today, I think they've had ample time to be heard, but certainly will move forward with collecting more comment if necessary.
Okay, well, I'll let you all know how that turns out. Okay, thank you. So next, I just wanted to make a brief report on the Health and Wellness Fair that from this past weekend. We did have a number of handouts on recycling, thanks to the Nature Conservancy and the League of Women Voters. We had handout on solar availability and how to go about getting solar. We also had handouts on proper lawn maintenance in an environmentally friendly manner, as well as, I think that was primarily it. And as I said, we did get a lot of positive feedback regarding the plastic bag ordinance. So that's my report on the health and wellness. And then the Watershed Partners team, as I told you, I was asked to represent the Radnor EAC on the Watershed Partners team, and we had our first real meeting last week. And one of the outcomes of that meeting is that one of the goals that came out of that meeting is that they would like us to be in communication with the folks downstream. So those in Eastwick that are suffering all the flooding and so forth, because some of the problems that, do originate at the upstream spots. So hopefully we'll be able to start, some communication with them. And if anybody has, knowledge or interest in this field, please let me know. And, I will continue to communicate it with this group. Okay, And then our next business is a synopsis of the Green Team meeting with the EAC and the Township, and updates on the Green Team initiative. Sarah?
Well, I'm taking a bit of a sabbatical from this, but I will do the best I can. I was at that meeting. The next step was for the Green Team to discover a sample RFP in order to have an energy audit of the Township building, and that was found very quickly by Robin Mann. So I'm not quite sure where it is now because it's in the hands of the Township. And Dan Burnham, who's a member of the Green Team, is doing some work on solar. And that's just about where it is.
Okay, and I might add that we did have the meeting I attended, and then the members of the Green Team and Township Manager and others were at that meeting. So there seemed to be a lot of agreement on, some of these initiatives. Okay, we're going through this very rapidly. Does anyone have any other updates or reports?
I just wanted to say, I know Ray is not here today, but I don't think I've heard anything about our initiative to work with the elementary schools. So I don't know if you've heard anything, but I think, we're still waiting to work that all out. But just letting you know, I haven't heard anything else on that front.
Yeah, I believe he said the principal there is leaving, and I think that's put a little snag in the efforts, yeah. Thank you. Anything else? Okay, any old business or new business you want to bring up? All right, this was a really quick meeting. And we have no other public here to comment, so I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.